So a very good evening to you. Without wasting any more time, we would be starting with questions related to permutation, combination and probability and how do you actually solve those. So tomorrow is your exam for your CSAT and we would be talking about these questions. So the first question is, what is the probability that the position in which the consonants appear remain unchanged or constant when the letters of the word maths are rearranged? Now, how do we solve questions like this? Those who are already solving it can put those in the answer, but let's understand the method. Now, let's understand the language. What are consonants? A, E, I, O and U are the vowels. So anything besides these 5 alphabets would be consonant. So in the word math, what would be the consonant? M, T and H. So how many consonants? 3 consonants. Now, you have to understand or find out the probability of the position in which the consonants can be rearranged. If the position of the consonants are unchanged. So this is at the first position, third position and fourth position. Now position is important here. Now how the first position can be occupied? So any of the letters can come in the first position. It can be M, A, T or H. So there are 4 ways in which we can start it. Now in the second position there can be 3 other letters which are remaining that can be filled. At the second position 2 of the letters can be occupied and at the last position, at the third position 2 of the letters and at the last position 1 letter. So total possibilities are how many? So total possibilities are 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 which is 24. Now I say that I am focusing only on consonants. That means M, T and H. A would remain unchanged. It's a vowel. Okay. So M can occur in 3 ways. So 3 of the letters, 3 combinations. Now 1 letter already set here. So T, at this position there can be 2 letters and at this position there can be 1 letter. So 3 into 2 into 1 which is 6. So what would be the probability here? This probability would be 6 by 24. And what is 6 by 24? That means it is 1 by 4. And therefore answer would be 1 by 4. A very direct question on probability. Rather than solving, there are various ways through which you can do probability questions. So this is one of the simplest way we assume would be most easiest for you. Now the next question, there are 6 boxes numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Each box has to be filled up with either a red or a green ball. Okay. Now let me draw the 6 boxes first. So there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So if I am putting green here and there should be consecutively green. So I can put green on all these. So if I have 6, all the 6 I am occupying, okay. So 6 greens if are there, how many ways I can arrange those? I can arrange those 6 green in only one way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If there are 5 greens, I can start with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or I can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So for 5 green, I can have 2 ways of doing it. Clear? For 4 greens. So if I want to have 4 consecutive greens, how many ways can be there? It can be, let me change the color here. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 ways. If I have 3 greens, how many ways? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and then 2, 3, 4, 3, 5, 4. So how many ways? 4 ways. Similarly, if there are 2 greens, there would be 5 ways and if there is 1 green, there can be 6 ways of doing it. Okay, so the question says what is the total number of ways in which it can be done? So very simple, I have to simply add 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1. So that's 6, 6 and 6, 12, 12 and 4, 16, 16 plus 5, it is 21. So 21 ways are there where you can have this solution, or you can have green balls which are consecutively numbered. Okay, so that is how we solve a question like this. Now let's move to another question. Caution, yes, we are bringing in the idea of solving the questions itself. Now this is again a very simple question. I have two bags here, one bag and another bag. So bag 1 and bag 2, bag X. Okay, let me put it as X and Y. Okay, bag X and bag Y. So bag X has 3 red and 5 black. So I write it as 3 red and 5 black. Here there is 4 red and 4 black. Now the question is, if from I select one bag and from that one bag random ball is drawn, what is the probability it is red? So first of all, out of 2 bags, I am selecting just one bag. So what is my probability? Half. Now this half multiplied by having a probability for red. So 3 red can be there out of total 3 plus 5, which is 8 balls. So 3 by 8. In the second case, it is half probability for 4 by 8. Now I add these two and this would be my answer here. So I would have 3 by 16 plus 4 by 16, which is 7 by 16. Now if you simplify it 1 by 2, that would make the question more complicated, because you would write 1 by 4 and then you would again take the LCM and you would have a again denominator of 16. So that would just lengthen your process. Rather than keeping it simple, you are just making it much more elaborate. So don't simplify. In the short term, it appears that simplifying is easier. But in the long run, we can see if you have a common denominator, since you have common denominators in the choices, this becomes much more simpler to solve. So this was one of the next questions. Let's focus on the next question. Now, this is a very interesting question. There is a cannon, a boat, which has 2 rows and 2 oars. Now, one is left and other is right. Each oar either works or breaks. The failure or the non-failure is independent of the failure or the non-failure of the other. So this is the boat. There are 2 oars and one of the oars would either work or not work, break. And if one is working, there is no condition that I can say the other one is working or not. Now the probability that the left oar is working is 3 by 5 and the right oar is working is again 3 by 5. What is the probability that you can still row the canoe? Now, how do we need to find out? We need to figure out the only case where you cannot row. So, if there is a probability that left works, what is the probability it does not work? So, 1 minus 3 by 5. Clear? Now, what is the probability that right does not work? So, 1 minus 3 by 5 again. So, this is 2 by 5 and this is again 2 by 5. Now, what is the probability that both does not work? So, it is 2 by 5 multiplied by 2 by 5. So that is 4 by 25. So 4 by 25 is the probability that both the oars do not work. Now you have to find out a scenario where you can still row the boat. So that's the only case where you won't be able to row. Now the case where you would be able to row is 1 minus 4 by 25. That makes it 21 by 25 as the right answer. Clear? Let's move on to the last question for today. So the last question for today says, now this is a question which you can do also through successive percentage. So I find it much more simpler. So let's do it that pace. So of the total 100 members, okay, 60 are women. So I consider total number of members as 100, of which 60 are women. Now of the 60, 45 are lawyers. So of the 60, I find out how many lawyers are there. So 0, 0 cancel, 5 and 9, and then 2 cancelled, and here it is 3. Okay, so 27. So 27 are female lawyers. Now, what is the probability that the members selected are female lawyers or women lawyers? So 0.27. Since I started with 100, if I start with 1, this would be 27 divided by 100. So 0.27 as the right option. So this is a question of successive percentage. A separate lecture on successive percentage is already done, and before your last prelims we had discussed numerous questions on permutation combination as well. And tomorrow, as soon as your paper is over, don't miss to send us the papers on our WhatsApp number so that we can bring in immediate solutions for you. So we would be bringing the solutions for your UPSC paper 1 and 2 by tomorrow. So send in the papers as and when you complete. For getting a basic idea about CSAT Ramya, you have to focus on questions which are related to logic, argument. Reading comprehension is not exactly reading comprehension questions, but those are more of logical, which is an argument which strengthens the proposition, which weakens the proposition, which logically concludes what should be assumed. So those kind of questions. Then questions related to permutation, combination, probability, data sufficiency were asked last time. That is for CSAT. CSAT is qualifying, so either if you are good at English or good at maths, either of that should work. So 50% you would be able to cover by any means. And then for your paper 1, definitely for the last moment I would recommend go through the quick headlines of Down to Earth, very very important. And then definitely the NCERT amalgamations which you have been doing over the time period. Last day there is not much that you can do with your paper 1. Definitely Vishal. So our link number is 999-800-8851. You can simply send the WhatsApp on this number and we can help you with the solutions by tomorrow. So looking forward for many more discussions, many more sessions with you. Wish you good luck for tomorrow's examination, and we'll kick start with mains preparation immediately after your prelims examination is over. Our test series is already released, so you can just have a look on those questions if you are interested. Wish you very good luck.